Failed to post for pace. You have been temporarily blocked from performing this action. Excuse me?
Uh-oh, Teresa. What
No,
did you do?
hang on. I think it's from LEP. Holy smokes. I have to take LEP off. So it's going to be on Jay's. What's that one? Paranormal Mysteries. And mine. I can't do it on their YouTube either.
Oh.
No, we're live. As I'm sitting here talking away.
I know, I'm just watching you. I'm like, that's all right, whatever. People know that we always have technical difficulties.
This time it was me. Actually, I can say this time it was Jay.
Yes, it's never your fault. It's always mine or Jay's.
I can say this time was Jay's because he's the one that was blocked. He got banned.
Dare I ask?
Oh, no. Well, he got banned for a post that he did 5 years ago. It was something, he was like denouncing racism, and somebody reported it and didn't like it, I guess, and he got banned for 30 days.
5 years ago.
5 years ago. They had to dig for it, which is stupid.
This is where we're at in life right now.
I know. It's just ridiculous. I got my chair and my desk today all put together. We just finished putting them together when I walked in.
Nice.
So when I get, hi, honey.
Hey, did y'all see the cool ass shirt Jason's got? Look at this. Keep calm and weed you. Look at that.
I love it.
Look at that.
Very nice.
Just pimping out the products. You guys later. Okay.
Pimping out our merch. He's a very attractive model.
I'm telling you, the one of the best.
We need to get him on here to do redneck readings one night.
Yes, we do.
We'll have him as a guest.
Yeah, we'll do that because that was so fun. And what was so funny about it was how accurate he was.
He was spot on. It was funny.
That's what was hysterical. After we got finished, we logged off the show. He's like, "Do you believe that shit?" I was like, "I don't know what to tell you, honey."
Well, because he had pulled cards for me the night that he was doing them, and it was something about travel, and I was actually supposed to be traveling to Florida, and I didn't tell you guys that, and it was oh my god, it was so funny. I'm like, actually, I am going to be traveling soon. Well.
Never cease.
Are we doing readings tonight?
We can if you want. We don't have a lot of people in right now.
We don't have anybody in the room right now, but
nope. We can hang out for a little bit.
So tell me about this investigation. I saw you guys were live a few times.
Yeah, the boys went live at the second location. The first location, we didn't say anything. But the second location that we were at, we did. We were at Collingwood, one of our favorite places to go. It was myself and Jay, Jason, his two daughters, Katie and Mia, and his wife, Tanya. And then Brian showed up with his son, Liam. And Lexi was there for a little bit of it.
Oh, that's awesome.
And stuff. But we had a really good time. It was fun. It was kind of quiet, and we weren't sure how it was going to be because nobody's investigated in so long up there. So we weren't exactly sure what was going on. And we did go down to the, that basement dressing room where we had such good interaction, and we got nothing.
Really?
We got nothing. So,
Now, at one point, you guys that went live and the REM pod was going kooky.
it continued to do that like almost all night.
Wow.
I don't know. And I've never seen a REM pod do that. It would drop the tone, but no lights whatsoever.
Yeah.
Nothing. It was really weird. So I don't get it. But it was
I think
different.
mine's a little bit older than yours, and mine's never done that.
Yeah. Well, Jason's REM pod never goes off anyway. So when it
Mine
goes
does.
off, everybody's like, well, it's funny because when it goes off, everybody's like, oh, is that your REM pod?
It's my favorite piece of equipment, believe it or not.
Well, it was going on, I think, Tanya, you remember the nun cell upstairs
Mm-hmm.
that we had all the activity comes in? It was still going. So that was where Tanya had went live for a little bit.
Yes, that's what I was watching.
That's when it went nutty. And things just kind of felt weird. And then I've never been around anything where it happened like that, but they had, they've got somebody that they know was passing away. She had cancer and she was like in hospice and stuff. And so Tanya just asked if they could raise her in prayer. And they said a Catholic prayer, which I'm not Catholic. So I was like,
Mm-hmm.
I can't participate in that part of it, but I can say my own. And they said their prayer, and it was like the energy flipped in the room. It was like it pissed off.
Wow, really?
Yeah, it was like it was the weirdest thing. Jason starts pacing back and forth, pacing. It was just really, really odd. And poor Katie's like, I see something around Dad. I see something. I said, yeah, you do. I said, and I actually at one point I made her stay outside of the room with the camera pointing in the room because I was afraid of what was going to happen.
Wow.
Because it was just a really uneasy feeling.
Crazy.
It was nutty. It really was.
And you would think doing a Catholic prayer, they would be happy.
Right. Well, what's in that particular room is not something that belongs there.
Oh, right. Yep.
And I think that when the equipment was going off and we were asking questions and it was answering by the REM pod, it had, seems like we had another piece of equipment going. We had a spirit box of some kind going. I want to say it must have been the Echo Vox.
Okay.
And Katie was amazing on the investigation. She was hands down just absolutely amazing. I give her credit for so much because she was asking questions. She was like in charge. She was going for it. She did really, really good.
Wow.
But at one point, the Echo Vox, we were asking, did you come here with somebody? Yes. Are you stuck here? Can you get back out? How did you get here? It said in a bag. And Katie's like, well, what color was the bag? I would have never thought to ask that, but Katie's like, what color was the bag? He said blue. I mean, it was real quick when it answered.
Wow.
So,
and that's the elemental that's there, correct?
Yeah. And it doesn't belong there. I don't know how to make it actually leave because it is not good energy in there.
No, I know exactly which area you're talking about too now.
Yeah. It's the same. When we go there, we always have to investigate in that room.
Mm-hmm.
And It's like when we go in there, I don't know if it's my energy connecting with Jason, but when we go in there together, crap just starts happening. And I don't know. Every time we've been in there together, it's just really different.
But it's only when you're together.
Yeah, well, I can say that I don't think that I don't think I've investigated in there without him.
Okay.
Because he's
That'd
always
be
like,
interesting.
yeah, it'd be interesting to see what would happen.
Interesting, right?
He's
always
now.
Yeah, he's always been on the same floor. I know there's been rooms where you and I have investigated, and he was in the hallway.
Mm-hmm.
And again, pacing.
Right.
That's interesting.
It's like it makes him very. He was almost like a caged animal. Okay.
Yeah.
And his temperament was starting to change a little bit. He was starting to get agitated.
And he has said that before.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Interesting.
So it was just different. It was really different in there.
And you guys got nothing in that dressing room.
No.
Because that was
because Brian was like, okay, you were sitting here, and he had me sit in the chair. Tina was there, and we had a REM pod here and a K2 here. And he was like trying to recreate.
Yeah.
He was like, I was sitting here, and we had everybody in there. It was like, all right, places, everyone, places. We got nothing.
And that was one of the most intense sessions I've had in that building.
Yeah.
Like it wouldn't stop. And at one point you said to me, I'll never forget, you said to me, you need to speak French.
I did.
And I looked at you and I'm like, just because I'm from Canada don't mean I speak French. But I'll try. I know a little bit.
I don't know why. I just automatically thought you spoke French, or knew some French.
Which is funny because my boys, all three boys are fluent.
Oh, really?
And my ex-husband is from Quebec. So they all speak French. I'm the only one that doesn't. So I've picked up enough over the years that I can kind of understand, but to speak it, every time I try and speak it, the family laughs at me. So I just stopped speaking it.
That's funny.
But
oh my gosh. They're moving. I can hear them. They're moving my desk into the room now.
Oh, for your office.
Yeah.
Nice.
I've been waiting. My desk has been on back order.
So have you been home? You've been home now working, right?
Since Friday. I worked Friday, Monday, Tuesday, and today.
Nice.
So, and if I can get rid of the junk in my chest, and because I was like, I worked 2 weeks at work. I missed one day. I missed last Monday because I was sick. And then, I didn't feel great this weekend, but I know what it is. It's not COVID. It's not contagious. It's nothing like that. It's the asthma. So I just kind of try to plow through it. But it's like now when I lay down, I can't breathe.
Oh.
I've got so much crap in my lungs. Now, during the day, I'll cough occasionally, but not much. But I've got so much crap in my lungs. When I lay down, I start coughing or I'm gurgling like I'm drowning.
Oh, no.
It's horrible. I can't stand it. So then I finally get mad after I've coughed and coughed and coughed and coughed and coughed and, of course, peed and coughed and peed. And so it's like a vicious cycle. Yeah. So I finally get mad and I sleep sitting up now, which is, I don't like sleeping sitting up. So I think we're going to look at getting a wedge pillow.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe that'll help.
I have to do that for my indigestion.
Yeah, that's the type of pillow that I'm looking at is the wedge. Yeah. They say it's for acid reflux.
Yeah.
So that'll help.
I just prop my pillows up and it makes a wedge. Like I don't have an actual wedge pillow, but you do what you got to do.
Right. I think I used 3 or 4 pillows last night trying to prop it up to get comfortable, because the night before I was like, trying to sleep and it's all moved over, and it was awful. Hi, Lindsay. So I think we're going to do seeing Lindsay reminded me of it. We're going to do a 101 at 101, April 3rd.
I saw that, April 3rd. I'm very excited.
So that'll be nice. I hope we get some people in. I think, if I'm not mistaken, I think that is Easter weekend.
Yes.
So we may or may not get anybody. I don't know. We're lucky that we're so close to it. We're less than an hour away.
But the weather's so much better, so it won't be bad for people to drive.
Right.
And for the price you pay for the investigation after the 101, it's phenomenal.
Well worth it.
Yeah. It's a great location.
Love 101.
That's actually one of the things that we've said once we're able to cross the border again. I've got a big group of people from here that want to investigate, because it's only 2.5 hours for us.
Okay.
So we're going to get a group together and go down. So, I mean, of course, you guys are more than welcome to join us because it's so close for you guys. So that's great.
I love it. And you guys could probably get there early in the day, and then you wouldn't have to stay as late.
Mm-hmm.
And because I know you'll drive back.
I just sleep in the car. I take a nap in the car, and then I drive home. When we go to the Old Licking Jail in Newark, Ohio, I like to try and get there at least once a year for some. I mean, of course, I haven't been since January of 2020, but I like to go once a year to visit. I mean, it's a great crew there that works everything. Terry's fantastic. I don't know, have you ever met Terry Long? Oh, she's awesome.
I've never been there. That's on my bucket list.
Oh, it's such a great location. I just love it. And that's 3.5 to 4 hours for us. And I always investigate till about 1 a.m. And then I go to the car and sleep from 1 till, I think the last time. And I slept in the car in January. Left the car running and slept in the car. And I think everybody else came out about 3:30 in the morning. And I drove home from there. So.
No, I couldn't do that. There's no way. Absolutely.
Oh, Lindsay, you would honestly, like I tell everybody, put it on your to-do list. It's a great, great location. They're great people there. And there's a lot of different, every time I go, I get a different story. It's not just picking up on spirit. You're picking up on the spirit's complete story.
Oh, wow.
Like the one year we went, I forget why we were there, but I looked at Terry and I said, okay, I'm getting this little old lady, and she's sitting in a rocking chair and she's giggling. And she's saying, she was saying something like he deserved it or something. And there was an oriental carpet, and it was full of blood. And there was a stove. There was a big cooking, like when you're doing canning, one of those big pots that was on the stove, and there was a leg sticking out of it, like the foot and the calf of a leg sticking out of it. And I'm like, oh my God.
Oh.
I'm like, why am I seeing this, Terry? And she's like, oh my God, Tina. She goes, because there was a little old lady that had been, I can't remember her name for the life of me, but she had been just transported she was only in the jail for like a day or something before they transported her elsewhere. but she had through something, like her husband, she had enough with her husband. He was very abusive. She threw something at him, and then I'm gonna screw this story up. She either stabbed him or took an axe to him and cooked part of him up, and the rest she rolled up in a carpet and took him outside.
Oh my God.
And all I could see was her sitting in this chair, and Terry says, I gotta show you. So she shows me a picture. I'm like, oh my God, that's her. That's her. But it was like just so off the wall. And Terry was like, I can't believe you pulled that story out of your butt. Like, it was just so bizarre. So bizarre. And that was just like a crazy, that wasn't one of the people that resided in the jail. Right? Like, she didn't spend time there.
I wonder why she's there.
I don't know. And it wasn't that she was there. It was her story. I just got her story. There's only been 3 spirits that I've picked up that are still there in the building.
Janet, she's talking about the old Licking County Jail in Newark, Ohio.
Oh yeah. It was awesome. It was awesome.
I can't imagine seeing that, number one.
Well, she was just so nonchalant about it in that chair, just like
he deserved it, so
he deserved it, so whatever. Like, she just didn't care. It was so funny. So
wow.
But that's like there's like the story of Carl is there. That was one of my, that was the first time I went to, when I first started with DPX, we went to Madison Seminary. That was the first place I'd been to in the States. And then the second place.
Close to the winery that we go to and investigate.
Madison? Have you ever investigated Madison?
No.
That building's creepy. Like, doppelgangers, creepy. Which is, I've only experienced doppelgangers twice, and they've been at Madison and Waverly Hills.
Oh,
and
wow.
It was like Madison's a great location as well, but yeah, the jail, for some reason in that building I can pick up stories like in great detail. Like, usually I'm pulling at stuff and I'm like, well, I think it's this, it could be this, it could be there's no, it could be, it's like, this is what I'm getting. And it's the story, the first time I was there, the story I told was so spot on that they were kind of like, I was with Terry and Jeff Fent, and they were kind of floored. It was the first time I'd met them. And Terry pulled me aside after I was done reading and said, this is the story. And she said, and there's stuff that we just dug up last week about this story through the historical record. She goes, you would never have known that. She said, I don't know how. And then she was showing me pictures, and she said, I don't know. Because I really didn't go to the States too much before then. Like, that was my second trip to the States.
Okay.
So, and I mean, in Newark, Ohio, like, who's going to look that up, right? Like, I didn't know where I was going. I just knew I was going to a jail in Newark. I'm like, okay, let's go. So it was really good. Like, that was kind of my, like, I had done readings before.
Hi, Jason.
For people and a few locations, but that was my first, like, aha moment. Like, oh my God, I really can do this. If that makes sense.
Oh yeah, it does. I've recently had mine with you, so.
Yeah, that was funny.
And that's what's so good about when you investigate with another medium, is that they can give you the validation. Or because like when you're really questioning yourself, and Jay's really good for like pulling things out of me. I've seen him do it to you.
Mm-hmm.
He's like, well, why do you feel that way? What are you getting now? And like when we went to the brewery, I was so confused, and you weren't there with me. And I told him, I said, there's too many layers.
Yeah.
And that made sense. And it was like different time frames, and you could tell it was different because like the dress and everything, and they were mixing together. And it was just confusing me. I said, you're going to have to give me a minute because it was really confusing to me. I had a hard time with that.
And that's kind of another reason why I like investigating with other mediums as well, because you'll pick up on different things. So like if you were picking up on, like, let's say something from the 1920s, I could be picking up on something from the 1960s.
Right.
And then it makes sense because we each get a different story, but they layer over top of each other, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I remember telling Jay and Jason that night, it's like an onion. I said, there's just all kinds of layers to it. And I said, I had not ran into that before, where it was so busy, so many layers, so much going on.
That's awesome.
Like, oh,
that's
wow.
a good location. That's one you want to go back to over and over again so you can get the full story.
Yeah, I'd like to go back. The food was really good too. But we had a really good time there.
Now, what is a place on your bucket list besides the jail?
Yeah, Jason said that particular location had not been investigated.
Oh, wow. Which makes it even better.
And we have access anytime. He's talking about the location that we went to this weekend.
Oh, okay. Yes.
The first location that we went to.
The first location. Yes.
Had never been investigated before. Oh,
I'm trying to read.
Those are actually my husband's gnomes, believe it or not. Let's see. A bucket list location. I don't want to go. I have no desire to go to Waverly Hills.
No?
No, that just doesn't. I don't know why that doesn't appeal to me. I mean, if everybody was going, I would go, but it's not something like, oh my God, I gotta go.
Which is so funny because it's so close to you guys.
I know. Bobby Mackey's doesn't pull me.
I just like to go look at the cowboys.
Right.
I'm not gonna lie.
Right. I don't blame you.
They can dance. Oh man.
Mm-hmm. I'll never forget the video of Rick flipping head over heels overhead.
God. Oh my God, it was so funny.
And what was funny is that he was trying to ride the bull, and the bull wasn't even really going really fast yet. It had just started, and he just goes.
It was its first dip, and then he just went boom, ass over tea kettle, and then like didn't stop there. Got up a second time, and we're like, "You got this, Rick! You got this!" We're cheering him on.
Expect now.
What's that?
You know what to expect now.
Right. You would think. Same thing. It was like Groundhog's Day. Same thing. We're like,
funny.
You're good. You don't need to go back on, Rick. We had a good time that night.
Oh, Jack says she wants to go to Linda Vista Hospital.
Oh, where's that?
California.
Oh.
Jason enjoys locations off the map, the ones that not everybody does all the time. And those are fun. Lindsay doesn't want to go to Mackey's either. She says so many other places I'd rather go.
St. Augustine, Janet, I'm with you there 100%. I've been to the city of St. Augustine a few times. Mm-hmm. And like just walking down the street, you've got a banquet hall of people that are not people.
Wow.
It's awesome. It's one of the oldest cities in the States, right? And it's just there's a lighthouse there you can investigate. They do ghost tours throughout the town. There's haunted bed and breakfast that you can go to. Alex from PKC, they're investigating. Well, they're staying at one of the inns there in St. Augustine this weekend on a girls' trip. And they're going to be investigating. I'm like, oh man, that's cool. That would be so fun. So fun.
That would be a lot of fun.
So,
Candace says the location we went to last week was the first time she ever picked up on the feeling of activity on the stairs.
Oh, okay.
It's funny that she said
that's
that.
Right.
I got a little girl running out of the room, and she got about halfway down the railing, and I heard this lady go, walk, and she just stopped, and she was like, okay, Mama has spoke. You are not to be running through here. And I'm sure that was something that was residual that happened a lot there. I'm sure that's what that was, but that was in the same. No, it wasn't. It was one room over from where the REM pod was going wonky again.
Okay.
So, and that was when I had you on. I was FaceTiming you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I watched. We were just hanging up from our phone call when Jason was live.
Right.
And so I went back and watched the live video from there as well, and that's when Candace said she got somebody running on the stairs, and I went, yes, that's awesome.
Yeah, that's cool that she got that, because I saw and heard that little girl. And you could hear, and it stopped. I was like, stopping in your tracks. Mom has spoken. You must stop. It was really funny. In one of the rooms that I wanted to get in so desperately bad, I couldn't. Because it was not deemed safe yet.
It was not safe.
Yeah. So I hope that I'd at least like to see it in the daytime. Because I know what I was seeing, but I'd like to see it see the room in the daytime, if I could tell a little bit more.
Yeah, for sure.
I think that would be neat. Candace says she was doing off the beaten path investigations too.
Now we have friends in Savannah, Georgia, and I said I would love to go there and investigate, because my sister was there, and my sister's empathic, but she's not psychic. And she's like, Tina, the energy is just, she said, you wouldn't know what to do with yourself. Because with all the old buildings and everything, she said the energy is just amazing. So Bob's trying to set something up with friends there so we can go for a visit.
Yeah, I think we're going to, Lindsay said she was just there last weekend.
Oh, wow.
I think we're going to try to go down to Savannah this year for our vacation.
Nice.
Because it'll be nice, because since I'm working from home, I'll be able to save up PTO time. I won't be sick all the time.
You won't be sick all the time.
Yep.
That's
if I can get this last final bout of it, hopefully, I'll get that medication soon that I have to start taking it. I never thought I'd look forward to a shot, but it's kind of weird.
Listen to your kitties.
Did you hear that thump? She's jumping at the door.
Mine's laying here in my lap, content as can be.
Oh, they're very good. Excuse me, I got hiccups. They're very good during the day now, since I'm working. Lucy, the only time she bothers me is when she wants to go outside. I'll let her out, I'll go back in and work, and then I hear her bark, and she'll go back and let her back in. It takes me like 30 seconds.
Okay.
So she's not a big deal. And she's got her toys underneath the desk that I'm using. That way,
So cute.
She sleeps at my feet.
Aww, what a good dog.
So funny. Have you been anywhere that you won't go back due to negativity? I used to say that about Prospect Place, but we went back. It's different. So I'd have a hard time going back to Hell's Bar.
Mm-hmm.
I would go back. That was hard for me to say that. I would go back knowing what I know now.
Yes.
And know what to expect.
To deal with it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And that doesn't mean it's there still. And maybe things are different. There was a lot of negativity at OSPH too.
Yeah, but I would go back there without reservation. I don't know why. Maybe because I wasn't right in the thick of a lot of negativity that happened.
Yeah, you weren't in that one room that we were in when all hell was breaking loose.
Yeah.
That was rough.
Now, for me, it's a place actually in Windsor. It was the very first courthouse for Windsor, and they used to do. They used to have hangings at just outside the courthouse in the yard.
Oh.
So I was okay. We used to do a lot of public events there. And then the one year we went, I got a really nasty attachment that it actually made me physically sick for about a week. Like where I couldn't keep food down. My skin was gray. It was awful. And the girls tried to clear it. I went to go see someone else and he managed to clear it from me, thank God. But
Hi, Rhonda.
I said I wouldn't go back there. And then you get to a point where you kind of got to face your fears, right? And go back and deal with it. So I've been back since. And when I went back, I just basically said to him, no, you're not getting in this time. And it's hard. It's like when I go in there, it's hard. I won't go in the basement by myself because that's where I got the attachment. I have to spend a day preparing.
Yeah.
It's
like a mental preparation.
Mm-hmm.
When you know that you're going somewhere that has activity like that, it's a mental preparation that you do. Candace, I would love his tombstone.
And Jeffrey said the Morris House in Hartford City. I've never heard of that place before.
I haven't either.
But he said
Isn't in the Monroe House there?
Monroe House is in Indiana.
That's where Hartford City is.
Is it?
Mm-hmm.
I have no plans to face that fear. The Monroe House is where
you called me.
I called you and said, you better stay on the phone with me. There's shit going down. There's shit going down.
They left me here.
They left me here.
Jeffrey said that's what he meant was the Monroe House.
Oh, Monroe House. Yeah. No, I don't like that place.
I've never been there. That was so funny when you called. You're like, you stay on the phone with me. You can't leave me. You can't. I was okay. Where are you at? I'm in the Monroe House and they left me. I hear stuff moving in the kitchen.
Bob just jumped in the chat room. Bob was with me there. I was with Margie and Margie's husband and Bob. It was just the four of us.
Mm-hmm.
Well, Margie's husband, Rob, was outside. And Bob and Margie were on a tour. And I'm sitting in the living room because I don't want to do the tour so that I can read. Right. Well, then all of a sudden you could hear the cupboard slamming in the kitchen. And I'm like, oh God. And then you could see the lights they had these fake candles in there for light. Well, they were flickering. And then this white mist came out of the kitchen and came through the living room where I was sitting. And I went, oh, hell no. Hell no. And that's when I called you. I'm like, F this place. I'm done. I'm so done. And then I talked to you for a bit. And then when that was done, we went outside and I was having a cigarette, or like 5, because I was freaking out. And I looked at Margie and I went, how many bodies are buried on this property? And she looked at me and I said, in a 1-mile radius, I'm getting 10 bodies buried. And she started doing the math and she goes, yep, that's about right. They found probably close to 10 bodies in a 1-mile radius buried.
Just
like,
randomly.
Oh, randomly. Oh,
Yeah.
no. That place. And Bob and Margie did a Ouija board upstairs. Like, they did a Ouija board session upstairs. And I was just like, I stayed in the living room most of the night because I was like, no, this house is screwed up. Yeah.
I think that the energy there is really messed up.
Sorry, guys. I'm like, Lindsay's going in April. Janet's going in June.
Bob's he said he hung out in the basement by himself.
He did. And then he tells me, suck it up, Buttercup. I'm with Jeffrey. I had to see a shaman to get rid of what I picked up. She told me I should never go back. Oh my God, Jeffrey. And I listened. Jeffrey, that's awful. There's something nasty in there. It chased me out of a room. And I don't normally let things chase me, but it literally, its energy pushed me. Like, I pushed right up into Bob and I was running out of a room. I'm like, I'm done. I'd be okay if I'm not afraid of it, but I would be okay to never investigate there again.
Yeah.
It's not somewhere I ever want to go back. I didn't like the energy there at all. It was very, very negative energy.
Yeah, I've just never been there.
Yeah.
She said that Lindsay's saying that it's been a couple years since she's been there. Donnie went a couple years ago, had nightmares all week before, and had 3 scratches down his back when he woke up. Before he even got there.
Yeah, protect yourselves. Guys, if you're going in there, make sure you load up and make sure you prep really well before you go. So I know Bob's going to tell me to suck it up. Watch, here it comes. It's going to come.
Yeah, it's coming. I'm sure it is. Because
he's not. I love my man, but you know what? He is afraid of nothing. Like, nothing bothers him. What's that? J2, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
And Jason.
Really?
Yeah.
I haven't investigated with Jason a whole heck of a lot. So
when they're together, they're not scared of anything.
Oh yes, I have seen that. When that thing went after me in the basement of Westwood School?
Yeah.
Was it Westwood?
Yeah.
Yeah, when that thing went after me and then the boy said, okay, let's go take care of this. I'm like, don't go in there.
Yeah.
And they did.
That was awesome that they did that, though. It was like they stood up to it.
Yeah.
That was a different location, too.
For anybody that wants to look at that location, check out the episode 2 of Paranormal Mysteries on the LEP Productions YouTube page.
That's right.
There's a plug. Right. Jade, be proud.
Yes, we did. Yes, we did.
Shameless plug.
That's okay, though. We did our second episode was.
Yeah.
It sure was.
That was crazy. That was awesome. Jeffrey, that was awesome.
It was.
Jeffrey Morgan was with us there.
He was.
Yeah.
That's what made it awesome, Jeffrey.
That's right. That was the first time I met Jeffrey, and he cracked, oh my God, laugh. I never laughed so hard in my life sitting in the van. just having snacks and stuff for a break. And oh my God.
Warm. It was
What's
cold.
that? It was
I remember,
cold.
I do remember
Yep.
that. And poor Dave. He had not really, truly, really investigated that much with us.
Mm-hmm.
And when we were at Westwood, I'm trying to think of how to be nice about this. It had not been cleaned out yet.
Oh, yes, that's right.
And there were certain locations that the odor was really bad.
Yep.
Like there was trash left in there.
Litter boxes and
boxes, that type of thing, where people had lived there and they just like up and left whatever
it
was
was
there.
awful. And it was awful what they left, that mess they left.
Yeah, that it was. But I had some champa flower oil, and we were like putting it under our noses. So bad. And Dave was like, "Let me call Candy," it's his wife, "and let her know why I'm going to come home smelling like this. You guys can tell her." Now she knows, and it's no big deal.
I was going to say, now we've met Candy, and she's a doll. I love her. She's funny.
But it was so funny because he was like, "You have to tell her why." I was like,
"Okay. I'm going home smelling like ladies' perfume."
We'll do it. Just put this under your nose. That was so funny.
We had Scotty Work jump in, and did he telephone in, or was he commenting on a live feed, something?
No, Jason talked to him.
Okay.
Outside, way away from us.
Okay.
And Scotty was telling him some stuff that he was getting. And then when we did the walkthrough, you and I picked up on the same stuff.
Yeah.
That
was awesome, because I have so much respect for Scotty.
Oh yeah.
As a psychic medium, he's one of the best. One
Absolutely.
of the best.
And then he picked up, and we picked up on it, which was really cool because that gave validation all the way around.
Yes.
Because
it was a cool location.
It was a really cool location. And then after that, we did Bryan, Ohio. Mm-hmm. And we had some good experiences there.
Yeah.
We did Bryan with our team. And then we helped out with the Hunt the Town.
Yeah. And Bryan, when we did it with the team, we brought our significant others.
Yes.
I was going to say our husbands and wives, but Bob's not my husband, so we'll say significant other.
Okay. Whatever, Tina. And that was really cool because Candy hadn't investigated. Bryan's wife, Heather, hadn't investigated.
Heather hadn't. Yep.
Tanya doesn't investigate that much. She's our safety coordinator. She's so funny about that. She's like, safety coordinator says it may not be really safe. But that was cool that we got, because some of the, Heather has ability.
Yes.
And she was picking up on stuff. And so when we were in the one area, the women's holding cell, where everybody about threw down right there in the middle of the room.
That was crazy.
They put us women in there. We didn't know what room we were in. And the guys were on the perimeter. And they were like, okay, what are you feeling now? What are you getting now? It was like,
we were angry.
Oh, yeah.
I swore a lot in that episode. And I apologize for anybody that watches it, because there was a lot of F-bombs. But it wasn't me. It wasn't my fault.
Right? There's been several locations that we've investigated together where we've gotten furious at each other, but not spiritually furious, something else is mad, and it was coming.
We had that at 101.
Yes, we did.
Where we almost beat the hell out of Rick.
And then we had it upstairs too, in that kitchen
God
area.
bless them. Yep. Strange. I've never met an empath that is affected by a spiritual emotion as much as what she is.
Yeah.
Like, it's almost like she takes on the emotion of whatever's in the room. Like, it's really, and I feel I shouldn't say this, because that night she picked up a lot of anger and sadness, but it's cool to watch. Like,
Right.
it's different. I've never met anybody like that before.
No, she got very upset several times in there.
Mm-hmm.
And like you said, it was just the fact that she was soaking in their emotion, and she didn't know how, at that time, she didn't know how to like guard herself against it.
Yeah.
And she didn't have any idea how to do that. So that was different. And then I'll never forget, you can hear it on the show too. Jay says, do you regret, or how do you put that? Something about, do you still trust me? Because he said that to Heather. He says, do you trust me? She's like, well, yeah. He says, go ahead and step in the middle here where we were all at.
Mm-hmm.
And started we were like getting ready to start taking swings at each other.
Mm-hmm.
That was crazy.
It was crazy. It was cool though. Like,
it was
like
cool how much we were affected by it.
But they do that a lot with us with energy work. I find the boys do that a lot. Like, we had that one session at Hale's Bar. Do you remember? Where we were all pushing energy into the center. They had me and you on opposite sides of each other, pushing energy into whoever was in the middle.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We each had one of the Edwards boys behind us.
Mm-hmm.
And then Jason and Jay were kind of circling around, and Rick was in the middle, I think.
Yeah.
Poor Rick. Rick was always like he was always the ghost bait.
I'm telling you. And, I'll never forget, because whatever that was in that basement there, when you had enough, it crawled up you.
I'll never forget that for the rest of my life. It was the best way for me to describe it for other people that are listening in. If anyone has seen the movie Venom, it's it's one of the Spider-Man, like in that one, and he's black and he's got that grin with the teeth, and that's what crawled up me. It looked like Venom. And I was like, oh no, turn on the light. Turn on the light.
Excuse me.
Sorry, Trace.
No, that was so funny because you were like, turn on the light, turn on the light. I'm done. Turn on the light, turn on the
light. And then we went and left the room, and Jay said, would you go back? And I said, yeah, give me like a half an hour to regroup, and then we can go back. And he goes, it's 2:30 in the morning. We ain't going back now. I'm like, oh, okay. Yeah, I'll go back.
Sure, I will, yeah. Oh, it's too late. Oh, what a shame.
Darn. And we never did go back when we went in that following February. We never went into that area.
No. I don't think we could get in there because it was flooded out.
It was too flooded, yeah. But turn on the light.
That was so funny.
I damn near crawled up Heath.
No.
Poor guy.
They'll never investigate again,
Those poor boys, no, they still come back for more. Every time I call them and say we're going to be somewhere, they're like, okay, we'll see you there.
Well, I have both of them in the room with me at OSPH.
Oh, okay.
So, and that when all that went down. So, and that was when I realized at OSPH that there were two of them.
Oh, that was funny.
Well, I was just with you. No, you weren't. Yes, I was. I felt so stupid.
Oh, it was so funny.
Because I had no idea that they were twins.
Well, and I had talked to Heath online for probably about a year. Just once, like we'd comment on each other's stuff once in a while. Like it wasn't, I knew of him.
Yeah.
And Jack said to me on the way to OSPH, well, Keith Edwards is going to be there. And I'm like, what? You're kidding. She goes, yeah, and his brother Shane. I'm like, what now? She goes, he has a twin brother. I'm like, oh, had no idea.
Mm-mm.
And then when I saw them together, I was like, okay, yeah, you're definitely twins. Like,
yeah, no doubt about it. I wasn't paying attention. I mean, they were dressed differently. They had different shirts on, but I didn't pay attention to what they were wearing. I didn't think I needed to. Because I had no idea that they were twins. It was so funny.
That was funny.
So bad. Because I was like, I was just with you. And like, no. Yes, I was. One of us is going nuts here. It was me.
That was a great trip, though.
It was.
It was a lot of fun.
And we were driving down, and you guys were driving down, the girls from PO3. And we did lives from each of the cars. We do a live and invite the other one in.
Yep.
That was fun. That was a lot of fun.
So,
wait to start doing trips again.
Yeah, we're looking forward to it. We've got something in the works for the spring in Amherstburg that I'm just waiting for approval for before I announce. But that's the only thing we've got next year. We've got something and if this event gets approved, we'll have June, August, and October at this location that we'll be doing events. But I'm just waiting to see if it's getting approved or not. But that's all we've got booked for next year because we still can't get into the museums. And like to book events like we normally do, it's too hard with COVID to make sure we've got only 10 people and the proper sanitizing and social distancing, and it's too difficult right now. So,
well, hopefully with everybody, and I'm bad because I haven't done it, but hopefully with everybody getting their vaccinations, that'll start helping.
Jax has hers. So, yeah.
I don't have mine.
Neither.
I will get it. Maybe. Although I did see, who is it? Johnson. Oh, crap. I can't remember. I saw it this morning. One of the big companies, it's the third one that came out, just got approved for a one-time vaccination.
Awesome.
You have to go back for the second one.
Yeah.
Joy said they just opened them up to 100% and lifted the mask mandates there.
Oh, wow.
And I know Texas lifted up too. They're done with it.
Now, where's Joy at?
Mississippi, right on the Gulf. But she's really close to. Thank you, Jeffrey Johnson & Johnson. She's really close. She's like an hour, I think, from New Orleans.
Okay.
She's really close. So she's way down south. Mississippi coast.
There you go. Well, it is 9 o'clock, my friend.
It is. It is bedtime. I gotta go sit my computer in the other room for work tomorrow morning.
So we didn't get our readings done this week, but maybe next week we'll promote and do readings next Wednesday.
That sounds good.
All righty.
So we will talk to everybody next Wednesday. Have a good weekend. Enjoy and be safe.
Thanks for tuning in.
Thanks. Good night.
Hey, good night.